Welcome back to Book Summary 5. I'm Sammy, and today we're stepping into one of the most famous openings in all of literature and one of the most turbulent periods in history. This is A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, a sweeping story of love, sacrifice, and redemption set against the chaos of the French Revolution. The novel opens in the late 18th century, in two cities that couldn't be more different, yet are deeply intertwined: London and Paris. It's an age of contradictions, of great hope and terrible despair, where social injustice simmers beneath the surface and revolution is no longer a distant threat but an approaching storm. Dickens sets the tone immediately, reminding us that this is a world balanced precariously between light and darkness. We begin with a mystery. In Paris, Dr. Alexander Manette is released after 18 years of unjust imprisonment in the Bastille. He's been forgotten by the world, reduced to a broken man who has survived by obsessively making shoes in his cell. His daughter, Lucie Manette, whom he has never known, is brought to him by the compassionate and eccentric banker Jarvis Lorry. Lucie becomes his anchor to life, slowly restoring his sanity through love, patience, and devotion. Back in London, we meet Charles Darnay, a French aristocrat who has rejected his cruel family legacy and chosen to live an honest life in England. He despises the injustices committed by the French nobility and wants nothing to do with their power or privilege. His path soon crosses with Lucie's, and they fall in love. Darnay's quiet integrity and Lucie's kindness create a small island of peace in an otherwise restless world. But Dickens never allows peace to last for long. Enter Sydney Carton, one of the most complex and heartbreaking characters in the novel. Carton is brilliant, sharp-witted, and deeply cynical. He works as an assistant to a lawyer, often doing the intellectual heavy lifting while others take the credit. He's painfully aware of his wasted potential and sees himself as a failure. Carton also loves Lucie, but he loves her in silence, believing himself unworthy of her happiness. Lucie chooses Darnay, and the two marry, building a family life in England. Carton remains in the background, a tragic figure watching the life he could never have. Yet in one of the most powerful moments of the book, Carton makes a quiet vow to Lucie, that he would do anything, even give his life, to protect those she loves. Meanwhile, across the Channel, France is boiling over. Years of oppression, starvation, and cruelty erupt into revolution. The Bastille falls, and the old social order collapses in a wave of rage. Dickens shows us both sides of the uprising: the understandable fury of the oppressed, and the terrifying violence that follows when vengeance replaces justice. The revolution promises equality, but quickly descends into bloodshed, suspicion, and fear. Darnay is eventually drawn back to France, compelled by a sense of duty to help an old family servant. This decision proves disastrous. Despite having renounced his aristocratic past, he is arrested as an enemy of the people and sentenced to death by the Revolutionary Tribunal. Lucie, her father, and their child rush to Paris, hoping Dr. Manette's past suffering under the old regime might help save Darnay. For a time, it does. Dr. Manette is seen as a symbol of revolutionary injustice, and his influence temporarily protects his son-in-law. But the revolution has become a machine that no one can stop. Old grudges resurface, and Darnay is denounced once again, this time with evidence that even Dr. Manette himself unknowingly created during his imprisonment. Darnay's fate seems sealed. The guillotine looms. This is where Sydney Carton's story reaches its devastating climax. Carton travels to Paris, fully aware of what must be done. Using his physical resemblance to Darnay and his connections within the chaos of revolutionary Paris, he orchestrates a daring plan. In a quiet, heartbreaking exchange inside a prison cell, Carton switches places with Darnay, drugging him and sending him to safety with Lucie and their family. Carton remains behind, fully accepting his fate. As he is taken to the guillotine, he finds a peace he has never known. In giving his life for others, he finally becomes the man he always believed he could be. His final thoughts imagine a future where Lucie's family lives in happiness, where his sacrifice is not forgotten, and where his name is redeemed through love. The novel closes not with despair, but with a profound sense of meaning. Amid the violence and madness of revolution, Dickens offers a vision of moral triumph. Love, compassion, and self-sacrifice may not stop history's cruelty, but they give it purpose. A Tale of Two Cities is not just a historical novel. It's a meditation on justice and mercy, on how societies break, and how individuals can rise above the worst of their time. It reminds us that even in the darkest moments, a single selfless act can shine brighter than an entire age of violence. That was A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I'm Sammy, and this was Book Summary 5. Until next time, happy reading.